Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Happy Meadow Tales. I'm your host, Steve Kitts. Robby and his friends, the firefighters of the meadow. One sunny afternoon, Robby and Max and Scout and Benny were admiring the blue sky of Happy Meadows when they spotted something unusual in the distance. A plume of smoke rose high into the air, darkening the horizon and casting a shadow over the meadow. "Look!" exclaimed Robby, pointing towards the smoke. "There's a fire over there in Sunny Meadow, and we have to do something." Benny told him that's where his sister Molly lived, and they had to help. Max and Scout nodded in agreement. You're right. We just can't stand by and watch. We have to help." As if they had their minds read, Steve and Alice showed up in the hot air balloon. "Need a lift?" asked Alice as the gang was already in action mode. Without hesitation, the friends sprang into action. They raced to the hot air balloon, knowing that it was their best chance to reach the fire quickly. With practiced hands, Steve hit the igniter to lift them higher into the air. The gang wanted to help put the fire out so that any harm wouldn't come to Happy Meadow. As they ascended into the sky, the fire grew larger and more menacing, its flames licking at the trees and sending animals fleeing in every direction. Robby and his friends knew that they had to act fast if they were to save the meadow and the inhabitants from disaster. "We need to get closer to look at that fire and assess the situation." Steve nodded and gripped the controls with confidence. With a gentle push of a lever, he guided the balloon towards the billowing smoke, his eyes scanning the landscape for a sign of danger. As they grew near to the fire, the heat grew more intense. The friends could feel the sweat trickling down their fur, but they couldn't falter. They had to be determined to do whatever it took to save the meadow and the inhabitants from harm. "We need to form a plan," said Max. His voice was calm and authoritative. "Robby, Scout, and Benny, grab the buckets from the balloon's basket. Steve, steer us near that source of water, the creek over there. We're going to need all the water that we can get to put this fire out." Working together with precision and determination, the friends sprang into action. Robby, Scout, and Benny filled the buckets of water from the nearby creek, and then, with coordinated efforts, they began to douse the flames, one bucket at a time. And as the Sunny Meadow animals formed a line passing the buckets back and forth, it was a line of hope that had been formed. For hours they worked tirelessly, battling the fire with everything that they had. And finally, at last, the embers smoldered and died, and they knew that they had succeeded, and Sunny Meadow was safe once more, thanks to the quick thinking and the bravery of all. Molly and Benny took the time to embrace and share updated stories on their lives to this point, and Molly promising to come see the twins when she could. Brom the bear gave out bear hugs and thank yous to everyone. Brom and his best friend Picky the porcupine thanked the gang for coming to rescue them and provide hope and water to change their situation. During this all, Picky offered hugs, but everyone passed on them. In Sunny Meadow, it doesn't seem too much different than Happy Meadow. Our gang loaded back up into the balloon and headed back home. As they floated back down to the earth in the balloon, exhausted but triumphant, Robby and his friends knew that they had truly made a difference. And as they looked down over the meadow, now peaceful and serene once more, they felt a sense of pride, knowing that they had helped save it all from destruction. And they cherished their new friends that they had made in that nearby meadow, Sunny Meadow. Brom and Picky were a lot like Robby and Benny, they had thought. You know, in the end, it wasn't just the fire that they had exhausted. It was the fear and the uncertainty that had threatened to consume the valleys. We know that sometimes you have to do what is needed in order to have peace and joy, even if it's to go somewhere else and put out a fire. The end.